Great morning, guys. Great morning. I am Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. Happy Memorial Day. Great morning, guys. Jump on. I'm going to wait for you to jump on a little bit. Let me get settled over here. Actually, I am settled. I'm ready for you. Been ready for you. We're going to rock this thing today. Good morning. Jumping on, jumping on. Maybe some of you are still asleep because it is a holiday where we are remembering those that have passed on in the defending of this country and those type of things. All those we're going to remember. We're going to remember the those that have died in mass shootings. I'm just going to remember and sit with that in the best way possible. Meaning that when I think of people that have passed on, our loved ones, those that we respect, those that we look to, those that have fought for our country, it always makes me think, how can I be a better person? How can I honor them in what they did for us, how they loved us, how they loved their country? How can I be better? And so therefore the title of this one today is what can I do to change? That the change starts with me. The change starts with me. So come on with it. Come on with it. Jump on, jump on, jump on. I see you guys. Say hello. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. You know, I'll go back through and see these comments for sure to catch you, to make sure that I see all your comments that you have. Jump on, guys. Jump on. Good morning. Good morning. We always start with appreciation, gratitude. And this morning, I'm just appreciative of a good night's sleep. I'm appreciative of just a weekend where it's summer vibes. I heard all the summer sounds, you know, kids playing in the pool. You see people walking, the smell of barbecue, all the things. Look, the sun, I love the sun. So it was amazing this weekend as everybody had. Look, I love the fact that people had a 3-day weekend and people are hyped up about that. I love that. I love it. I love it. So come on, jump on. Hey, LaBelle, what's going on, gorgeous? What's going on? Jump on in, jump on in, jump on in. Good morning. Good morning. So let's start. Let's jump into this. You know, I have 15 to 18 minutes with you. The thing that we're talking about today is this change starts with us and with me. And so we look at the things that have happened over the last week, or the last months or the last years, whichever you want to, the mass shootings, the divisiveness, the unrest. And we have a tendency to look at other people and what they should be doing and how they should be moving. And I dare to say, as I sit with myself and meditate and try to figure out, my question always comes back to, what can I do? What happens with many of us is that we think that because we are just mere individuals, just ordinary people, that we don't think that we can do anything. However, a lot of times our language, how we move, how we can be, we really can make a difference, one person at a time. But it's going to be a heart change. I can argue with someone all day and that will never happen. That will never make them change. What makes a person change is something that within their heart, that touches them, that moves them, a spiritual epiphany, for lack of a better phrase. How many with me on that? How many? Because listen, we can argue all day. We can argue all day with our spouse, our significant other. We can argue on the job with a coworker. That does not seem to change them. What changes people is an experience. To me, I always say it's a spiritual experience that moves them in a way that they decide to change. And sometimes when our heart is broken open is the most fertile ground that we can say, you know what, I need to do something different. I need to do something different. And it's not about somebody else doing something different. Anybody with me on that? Come on. Yeah, I see you out there. Hey, good morning. Come on in. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, yes. So let's rock it. We talk about change today. So we look at a lot of different things. What are you complaining about today? What did you wake up this morning in the past? And you know, I've been talking to you guys about waking up in the past. Waking up in the past is waking up in the morning and looking at all your issues. Ain't nothing happened, but you start waking up, you woke up in the morning and you start thinking about everything that happened the day before or something that may happen due to past experience, you got a lot of anxiety, you woke up worried. That's the thing. That's how we're waking up in the past. So we're going to stop that, put a pin in it, and we're going to decide today, what about things do I need to change? Are you thinking about in your relationship something that needs to change? And that could be relationships on the job. That could be your intimate relationships. What about that do I need to change? Because what happened, and how you know this is because you keep complaining about something about them. And again, we're going to bring the power back to us and empower ourselves. As long as you keep thinking somebody else needs to change, you are victimized, you feel victimized, you are disempowering yourself, you keep putting the control in someone else's hands, and yes, you will feel victimized. So what we're talking about today is, how do we take our power back? Even when we look at craziness in the world, how do we sit back and say, wait a minute, let me empower myself? All right. One of the things, what do I need? One of the things is asking myself, and how I do this is, as far as personal development for me, is that what do I need to change about me that can help? How do I need to change things about me? And one is, as I look at the world, we talk about violence and the whole 9 yards, I often think, am I thinking violent thoughts? Am I moving in a way that's violent? You know, we can have road rage. Listen, some of y'all don't think you're violent, but you're violent. Listen to your language. A lot of times, our words can be cutting. Our words can we can have underneath a hateful thing. And it's not, the problem is this: we just haven't dealt with it. We have a lot of suppressed things going on. So we just haven't dealt with it. So I don't want you to shame. I don't want you to blame or guilt yourself either. I want you to just become aware of, when we allow love to lead, love gives us courage and strength to change the things within ourselves in order that our light may shine at a brighter, this megawatt thing. And that's the work. This is the work. It's never outside of us. It's always inside of us. Some of us right now are playing really, really small, and we know it, but we keep blaming other people for why we playing small. And that's where the love comes in. We keep basing things off of past experience. We can change the game today. You can decide today to just, you know what, I'm not going to eat that no more. Listen, I know, I'm always going to go back to the eat part. I'm going to go work out today. And I always go back to how we feel in our bodies, because that is the thing that's a catalyst for many things. That kind of shows us how to move. When we feel good about us, it's a game changer. When you know you look good and you feeling good, and you know you got energy in this enthusiasm, you got clarity. When you know you've been rested, listen, that's a game changer. When you know you're in alignment, it's an absolute game changer. But most of the time, we feel ourselves out of alignment. We feel ourselves in upset, worry, fear as we watch the news, and we forget that there's a lot of good still going on in the world, but our focus, which magnetizes and increases everything, is on the negative. Now, I do not want to desensitize what's happening. I'm trying to say is that if we're going to make a difference here, we must look at ourselves first and then out picture that thing. We can't be an asset when we feel bad about us already, when we are worried about finances, when we are worried about relationships, we can't. That's why we take our minds, our wills, get upset, and then we just go back to our regular lives, because we trying to survive. A lot of us are in survival mode the majority of the time. Yeah. Come on with it. So number one, I want you to just ask yourself, what do I need to change? If I've been complaining about a situation, now you may just like to complain, and maybe we don't even know when we're complaining. But find out what you're complaining about. If it's at the news and you looking at that news, and turn the news off and say, what can I do to change the situation? Or not. Now, if you're not ready to change nothing, if you don't want to change nothing, that's cool too. But own that. You just want to complain. Then you can find those people that like to complain, because you will find them. They will. You got plenty of them that will complain with you, lament with you, be miserable with you. They will sit there with you for hours and just be there. But when you're ready to change and make a difference, whether that means you got to get out and start voting, whether that means you got to get out and get more involved in the political process, those type of things, where you want, those things are loving, those things are real, those things are action oriented. There you go. That's the change. So, when you talk about number one, and I'm going to give you 3 things this morning just to kind of, for your consideration. What do you need to change in you? How do you move it in that? How do I speak? How do I behave? Is it in alignment with who I want to be? I always ask myself that. Is it in alignment with who I want to be? You're not going to be perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect, but I catch myself when I'm not in alignment. That's for sure. I catch myself pretty fast. Yeah. Number 2, expect something different. Many of us don't expect anything different, whether that's on the job, whether that's from our people that we with. We just done resolve to the fact that's just them, and we just gonna complain about it. And whether that's from ourselves, we don't expect anything different. We will tell ourselves in a minute we need to change something, and we will tell ourselves, well, I've always been like that. So it's just we don't expect anything different. We don't expect anything different from the world. That's not me. I expect that we can do this. I expect that if it starts with me and the leader goes first, that I can affect the world in a positive manner. Period. I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe that each one of us has the power to do that. I absolutely believe it. I've seen too many people, ordinary people, do extraordinary things because they just absolutely believe it. Point blank, they believe it. And if you believe it and start moving in it, that's the thing. We see regular people doing extraordinary things all the time. I look at this stuff. I thrive off of it. I get inspired by it. I'm like, man, how did they do that? What did they tell themselves that made them decide that they could just make a difference in that manner? It's not always sexy. It's not. We see people when they get there, and we like, oh, it must have been easy. No, there's times where you doubt, where you're scared, where you don't know if you're doing the right thing, and you just got to keep moving. Point blank. Come on, Dad. Come listen. I know y'all listen. You're like, Shay, oh my God. Shay gonna give us the business today. Hey, good morning, Helen. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I love it. I love it. Jump on. Jump on. Good morning. Come on with it. Listen, so we are talking about changing. Changing begins with us. And it doesn't mean that it has to be a mega change right off, because that's probably not going to work for you. But if we do gradual, consistent, and be consistent with it, it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. Number 3, we have to look at our victim language. We have to pay attention to the language that we talk to ourselves. It's us, them, or they doing this to me, or listen, we are in this thing together, whether we like it or not. I'm not trying to tell you to try to go change somebody's mind either. I'm saying maybe we need to change our minds and how we're looking at it, our perspectives. We based everything off of our past history. So maybe we need to look at things, at the possibilities of something being absolutely different. That is a game changer. Again, number 2 said, expect something different. We expect a lot of people to act in a certain manner, and that's what we get. If we think about it and we expect it, that's usually what we get, because that's the energy we give out. And so we must try to change that. This is a bigger conversation, of course. It really is. This is not a 15-minute conversation. This is not a conversation that we just gonna get on here right now and you listen to me, because I would prefer to be talking to you in person, or you rocking the complaining sucks the energy out of you. Yeah, absolutely, Helen. Complaining sucks the absolute energy out of you. Arguing never brings people. Listen, I don't know why we love to argue. I love a good debate every now and then, but most of the time we're trying to pull people to our side. We're not listening to where they're coming from. We have no intention of trying to listen to where they're coming from, because we have dug our heels in. But I realize that I am a learner. I'm very easy to try to listen to someone else's opinion for a minute. If it doesn't resonate, I probably will do, but I still give you the floor to listen to you for a minute, but I may have shut down. But the reality is I probably won't argue with you back and forth. Now, unless it's about sports and you talk crazy, I'm saying. Now, I may go back and forth with you, but other than that, I will not. I have come to that conclusion over the last 4 to 5 years, that when people believe what they believe and they argue for their limitations, where they argue for what their stance, it's no reason to keep trying to talk to them. It has to be something else you may cast the die. And I use that term with my friends a lot. I can cast the die. Casting the die means, for your consideration, let me give you this idea for you to kind of chew on, for you to kind of marinate with, for you to kind of download to your heart, to kind of see if that makes sense to you. Does it resonate? But because here's the deal. Truth will always resonate with you, whether you honor it or not. Truth will hit you. deep down, you may say it, keep arguing because we egotistical about certain things. But after a while, you kind of think, that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. Not from me. That's how I learned. I'll listen to somebody like, that makes sense. I always believe that I'm guided by spirit, by the God of my understanding to hear particular things, even if it's a little different. Can I download that to kind of marinate with? Because here's the thing: everybody thinks that they're right on what they stand true on. That's why you can't argue with them. Everybody thinks they're right on what they're saying. So you have to give people space for what they believe. And therein is part of our issue. We trying to make people believe how we believe, and we know that they probably wrong. Look, we know they wrong. We know they wrong, and we just like argue with it. But this is the thing: if we're going to empower ourselves to make changes in our lives and continue to make that a bigger thing, and have a groundswell of goodness and kindness and love and respect and strength and character and integrity, and courage, then it's going to start with us individually and our pitch. And we have to get to a place where we're settled and we are in love with ourselves, in love with life, because honestly, life is good. Life is good, and we got some really messed up things that happen. But on the big scale, life is good, and that's the only thing sometimes can pull us. And when we don't have a vision for our lives, and many of us have gotten into our 30s, 40s, and 50s and what have you, and we don't have a vision for our lives, and therefore we get beat up by the pain of every day. We get scared about what things are happening every day. We forget to stop. We stop dreaming. We stop setting goals. We stop doing all the things. We think this is just it. Well, this is just it, and you only 40. Listen, you got a situation. You listen, if you just at this place like, this is all it's it. It's right here. You 65, you just retired, and you tell me this is it, then you got a situation. We live in the 80, 90 years old. Just sit there, that's it? Come on now. So here's the first thing today. And again, it goes back to relationships as well. We have the power to affect change, but it starts with us. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power. I'm going to say that one more time. We have the power to affect change. I gave you 3 things. One was that question is, ask yourself, what do I need to do to change? What do I need to change within me? That's one. This is very spiritual because it brings it back to you. It's you versus you all the time. This is you and God all the time. You and the God of your understanding, high power, spirit, universe, source, whatever language you need to use that resonates with you. It's always you versus you first. It's not other people doing anything to you. Even though looks like that, but how are we attracting that? What do I need to do? Do I need to change my situation? That's what I'm saying right there. Be gentle with yourself with this. Don't start like, well, I need to do this, and beat yourself up. It's a process of just assessing, becoming aware so you can move. Number 2, expect something different. If you never expect anything different, like I was listening to a gentleman talking about expecting greatness. I expect greatness for myself. So anytime I'm not doing that, or if I'm not there, I'm always like, wait. I expect to carry myself in a certain manner. That may look like arrogance. That may look like confidence. That may look like anything, but it really doesn't matter what it looks like to you. I know for me, I can do better. So I expect greatness. And it may take a while. Y'all may say, you know what, Shay been saying that for you now. Look at she blown up. She been blown up. That's what I'm saying. Y'all gonna be like, well, man, she been saying this forever. Right. But because I expect a certain thing from me, I expect it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Thank you, Savannah. What's going on, gorgeous? What's going on? I see you. Thank you for jumping on. I expect it. So that means it's a process, and it may take me a minute. It may take you a minute. That's okay. Number 3, we got to watch our victim language. We got to watch the complaining. Just become aware of when you feel like somebody is doing something to you. Because when we start looking for that, you tend to draw more to you. Become aware so that you can change it. You can't change nothing that you're not aware of. All right? Again, we start today. I'm Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. We talking about the change starts with us. I'm sick and tired of some of the things that's happening in this world. So I'm talking about, what can I do better? Do I need to get more involved? How do I change? From me out? The leader always goes first. The leader goes first. It's you versus you. Let's rock it. Have an amazing Memorial Day weekend. If you're cooking out, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your day off. love on your family, love on yourself. Have a good time, guys. Let's rock this thing. Let's rock this thing. Bye, guys. Have an amazing, amazing day.